Hey guys, Jason Digos here with Modus Global, and today I'd like to show you our 2024 Aston Martin DB12. So here we are in the cockpit of our 2024 Aston Martin DB12. Now this is a really high-end luxury car, and it poses a couple of different challenges. Number one, it's a convertible. Number two, it has a very complex OEM audio system, but it does have really good speaker placement. But one of the downsides to this vehicle is that it didn't have a lot of output, especially with the top down or open. You'd lose a lot of bass output and your high frequencies would just be gone. And of course, you'd have to overcome a lot of road noise. One of the other challenges also is there isn't really a lot of space in this car. So what we did was we integrated and upgraded the amplifier system and also added a subwoofer in here. It's down here in the floorboard, and we partnered with our friends over at Fat Fender Garage and also a friend of ours, JT Torres, to fabricate this along with Delta Concepts. So we 3D scanned the floor of the car, and then we 3D printed the optimum design for our Apex subwoofer. And that's down here in the floorboard. The factory speaker locations were pretty good, but again, they just lacked a little bit of power. Okay, so here we are in the trunk of the DB12, and this is where the magic happens. What you're seeing here is two of our Modus Apex amplifiers. Now, we realized that we needed more channels of amplification. This is what could fit here. I've got one 4-channel AXA4 and then an AXA1 mono amplifier. We also have another 4-channel tucked away inside behind the panel to accommodate all of the speakers in the car. So one of the things that you'll notice right away is that the amplifier is encased in clear acrylic, which is really unique. Now these amplifiers are Class AB with a high voltage Class A input. So what that means is that the amplifier does generate a lot of heat. But obviously, plastic doesn't make a very good heat sink. So inside of the amplifier, we've developed a technology called PeakCool, where the heatsink of the amplifier is actually inside. It's internal in the amplifier, and it's capped with a cooling fan. And that cooling fan draws cool air in, pushes it through the heatsink down into a vortex, and that vortex actually helps accelerate the air and exhaust all of that hot air out through the bottom of the amplifier. And as it passes through the bottom of the amplifier, it actually goes through and underneath the circuit board, so it actually cools the entire amplifier, not just the devices that are getting hot. So it allows us to drive the internal components a lot harder because we're very efficient with the PeakCool technology. So take a look at this with the PeakCool technology. I'll give you a little bit more detail. The internal heatsink is an aluminum chunk, but out of the middle of the aluminum heatsink are these fins, and they're actually cut out, and when you spread those fins out, there's a really large surface area, and that's what allows us to cool very, very efficiently. So as the air passes through the PeakCool heatsink, it's actually drawing away a lot of that heat away from those devices, which makes us produce a lot of power in a very small package. The Modus Apex amplifiers are available in 2 models. The AXA4 has a Class AB high voltage Class A input, and the power output on that is up to 180 watts per channel at 2 ohms. The mono amplifier, AXA1, is also a Class AB amplifier. Now that output is 750 watts RMS at 2 ohms. Now the really cool thing about that is it's the full range Class AB, just like the 4 channels. So just think about the different applications that you could use that 750 watt amplifier in, even in your front mid-bass drivers for like maximum headroom. Hey guys, thanks for taking the time to check out our Aston Martin DB12. A car like this, we know it comes with a pretty good sound system, but just keep that in mind that there's always a way to upgrade. And with Apex amplifiers from Modus, in that small compact footprint, you can always upgrade and have a ton of power and deliver that experience that your customers are looking for. So don't worry about restrictions. Even on a high-end car like this, there's always a way to make that system sound better. Modus Apex amplifiers are compact, small footprint with big power, big dynamic range, and big headroom. For more information about all of our products, be sure to visit us at modusglobal.com.